Hello, Andy. Your
Hey
background
there.
is so different for this Andy Talks Real Estate and More.
Yeah, you bet. I'm just south of Clearwater, north of Kamloops, and I'm going to go up and show some properties in around Clearwater today.
Wow, so you're a man on the move.
Yeah. Well, they're good friends, and I've dealt with some other properties here in the past, so it's something that gives me a day off, but at the same time, I'm still working.
I love that. I love how you have relationships. I would say, Andy, all over the world, because when you're a real estate agent and people are on the move from moving from here, there, and everywhere, you've made some incredible relationships over the years.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you too, Jeanette. Ours is one of those.
Yes, true enough. I'm so glad. First of all, let's go up props to technology that we can still do this because
Yes.
it's so important. Oh, Andy, I'm so glad, and I've said this before. I'm a renter right now, and I'm learning through you. There's going to come a time that I'm going to want to buy again, and it's up, it's down. If it's not the interest rates, it's prices up, down, sideways. Buy here, buy there, don't buy there. Buy. There's so much to know.
And inventory. Inventory plays a
Yes.
huge role here, and we'll talk about that.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So let's
Yeah.
get into it. And I'm going to be your
Okay.
Vanna White today because you're
Oh,
on the road.
fantastic. Yeah.
So you out there watching, we always appreciate you tuning in live. If you are watching us live, hey, throw a comment down that you're watching us live. Or if you're watching on the replay, put replay in the comments as
Okay.
well. Oh, look at us, Andy. We're doing, oh, we look so good. I said when we're coming on, I look so cheeky in that picture. So here we go. Here
Okay.
is our
Yeah.
first slide. So take it away.
Okay. So our market statistics for this month of July, we are the sales were 1,711 sales for the month of May, 10% increase from April of 2023, and a 25.8% increase from last year. So our sales were up 25% from last year. And inventory is increased 20% from last April 2023, but it's a decrease roughly of 3% compared to the same month last year. So inventory a little bit down, sales volume is up. And we can look at the next slide and it'll show us the graph of what that looks like.
Quick question before you get into this, Andy. So when you say lack of inventory, what are your clients looking for? Like, if you had your big magic wand, what would you like to see out there listed for your clients to buy?
Oh, it's a wide variety. I mean, you know, we just completed on a deal or removed subjects on age-restricted homes in Abbotsford, and that is for a single lady. We're doing septic inspections today on a acreage up in Mission, and I just got subject removals on a property, first time around subject removals on a small acreage just outside of Fort Langley, and so it's a wide variety. I've got a listing in Fort Langley. It's a third of an acre. And I'm looking at listing some condos in Walnut Grove. So it is a wide variety. Buyers are out there looking at everything, but the choices are limited. They really are.
Okay.
As I was saying, we're getting all these subject removals, but not enough listings. And this graph here really shows it because, if you look last year, June of 2022, you can see that the listings are about the same, a little bit less. However, sales are increased, from that 1281 up to 1935. Last year, June was very, very quiet. Interest rates has started to take effect on the marketplace. And even last month, you can still see that sales have increased from last month, and the inventory has decreased from last month. And so you can see this, and we've talked about this several months in a row now, that inventory is shrinking, and that's what's kind of pushing the market up, even though we've had another interest rate increase up to 5%. That's the highest, I think, since 2001. But how this will affect the market, I'm not sure. I would think that we might see a little bit leveling off in terms of pricing. We've had a well, let's get into that. Into our let's look at our next graph before I get into pricing. And here you can see this is the months of inventory for the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. You can see where the interest rate change came in. It started to go up. Our inventory escalated hugely into a balanced market. But for the last 5 months, since March, our inventory has been very, very low, almost to that COVID levels. Not quite where it was into, when the market took off like crazy in late 2021, early 2022, but our inventory still is very low. We've got 2 or 3 months worth of inventory, whereas in a balanced market, we would have 6 months of inventory. So that's a good graph showing that. But then if you're looking at our pricing, which is our next graph.
Oh, wow.
So we've had 5 months of upturn in terms of pricing. And that is why the interest rate 0.25% came into effect, because I think they really want to slow this price increase. If you look at the index, we came down probably about 20% since the high of March and of 2022, right down to those bottom levels, but we've kind of bounced up almost 10%. So recovered half the price change, but it needs to level off. We can't just escalate see housing prices escalate, because it does really affect our affordability, and it does affect our good economic health. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of leveling off, because I know I've had several buyers that have been priced right out of the marketplace, and wow. We want to see them. We want to see everybody in their home, right? So
exactly.
Yeah. And then in the next slide is our inventory. Again, is another little bit more specific, and it shows you that detached homes, we've barely got 2 months of supply. Townhouses and condos, well under 2%. And that it's still very much a seller's market in terms of inventory. Spot-wise, there's a few places that we see, like a little bit more inventory, but generally it's still a little bit tough out there for buyers. And then. Yeah,
and just about this, what you were saying before about where people are buying, like you mentioned Mission, you mentioned Abbotsford, you have something in Fort Langley, that you've got this big, let's call it the global mall of houses for sale, and you don't have a very stocked situation to show people.
Yeah, that's why I'm going everywhere, because my buyers are going everywhere to find something that works for them, whether it's due to affordability or inventory. And I have another client. We've sold their property, and they're looking for a smaller acreage. They sold a development property, and we put in that contract that they can rent for up to a year, because they were really worried that they won't find what they want. So that really, that gave them that insurance, right? So that they can find, and they have that time period of a year. Yeah. So here's our home price index for Langley, my hometown, and you can see again that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of price increasing from I think the low was in January, and I can remember some really good pricing deals then. But then condos and townhomes, they've had about 4 months of increase, and they are still on the upward momentum. However, I do think that it's going to level off. A lot of that, this is pushing is the delayed. It's the delayed effect of the interest rate hikes, because people are pre-approved for 3 months. So I've had a couple of deals now where we've have a completion date in July, August that is predicated on their interest rate hold period. and the seller will still live in their place and give up possession a month later, just so that my buyer could take advantage of a lower interest rate. And so, and we'll see this for another month or so. So that is what is also, there's a lot of buyers that are, grabbing what they can, but once those pre-approval rates are gone, then we might see a flattening of the marketplace. So those are my statistics for this month. Hey, yeah.
It's less than a week away, Andy. It's less than a week away.
I know. And the Odlum Brown Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival.
I'm in my jazz hands.
Yeah, the working committee, they've been working so hard. We did the volunteer last night. We introduced the volunteers and started setting them up. So there's a lot of things happening, and it's going to be a great show. There's 5 bands a night, Friday and Saturday, and I think we're going to do a contest on that, aren't we?
Stop sharing the screen now, and let's just have a little chitty chat, because you're very generous these days, Mr. Andy. So what kind of contest are you going to do for your followers out there?
Yeah, so if it's going to start just after this, but you need to tag the Fort Langley Jazz Festival Instagram and Facebook page, and you need to tag a friend because you want to take a friend with you. And I've got a couple of tickets to either night of the Cool Blues show. So do that, tag it, and I'll throw in a Visa gift certificate so you can have a beer, maybe grab something from a food truck. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be beer garden. There's going to be marketplace stuff going on, and the 5 bands. It's going to be a great night, and the tickets are what, $65? It's
great entertainment.
Yeah, right in the heart of Fort Langley.
Yeah, starts at 4:30. The first band goes on at 4:30. We're done by, I think, about 10. So it's not too late at night. So you can head into Fort Langley and continue on the party going on in Fort Langley. Also, you can look for this face with my crew. We're doing 50-50 on the Friday night, Saturday night, and through the Saturday and Sunday during the day. We're going to have crews wandering around with a possibility, Andy. My team and I last night did a little calculation that if we sell out of all of our tickets that we're allowed to do, there's a possibility of winning half of a $28,000 pot.
Wow.
So you want to get those 50-50 tickets in, and I've got a crew going around with the ever famous selfie frame. So you want to get your selfie up there and tag that you're out there in the community enjoying the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival. It's our 6th year this year, Andy. 6 years.
Yeah, and also too, don't forget that we're going to be having music in front of the community hall, and I will be there serving beer at the beer garden. That's my job. I'll be looking after that. So come on over. We have non-alcoholic drinks, and the Lions will be doing a burger barbecue.
Delicious burgers.
Come during the day and enjoy some great music and have a burger and a beer.
Okay, so next weekend, guys, starting on July 20th to the 23rd, it's the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival, proudly sponsored this year for the 5th year by Odlum Brown. So
you bet.
Andy, I'm going to let you get back on the road to get that friend home, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, take care. Jazz hands.